Thank you very much. It's great to be here today, and appreciate everything Ann Lewis does for the Yukon Mining Alliance. She is a tireless worker in helping to represent the Yukon. When you think of the Yukon, you tend to think of gold projects because there are plenty of those. But here we are sitting in the Yukon with one of the world's largest nickel-PGM projects. We changed our name from Green Platinum. Okay, let's see which one of these works. There we go. See, usually men have the remote controls. So when they give them to us women, and we got two, stick with me. So we have a world-class nickel PGM deposit, 2 billion pounds of nickel, 1 billion pounds of copper, and 6 million ounces of PGMs and gold. So geologically, this project should not necessarily be sitting where it's sitting. But what makes it so unique is not only the mix of the metals that we have, but it's very rare to have this quantity of precious metals in with a nickel sulfide deposit or a polymetallic deposit. Adding to that, you see that we've got PGMs in the Western Hemisphere, which is very, very rare. You usually see them in South Africa and Russia. And to add on top of that, most PGM deposits are either palladium-rich or platinum-rich or dominant. We have 1-to-1 ratio of platinum and palladium, so again, making it very, very unique. We changed our name to Nickel Creek Platinum because we think it better represents the mix of metals that we have in the project. Now, we have the Yukon Advantage. Obviously, we're all here in the Yukon Pavilion, but what is wonderful about our project is that we are right off the Alaska Highway. So while you have a lot of projects that may have to build significant roads to access, there is literally a sign on the Alaska Highway saying, turn left, that's the Green project. So from the airport of Whitehorse, it's 2 right turns, 1 left turn, you're at our project. So to be able to truck our concentrate off is going to be another very beneficial aspect to this project. We have a new management team that came together about 18 months ago. We have been redoing all of the technical work on the property. There had been a lot of exploration, but with the project with 25-year mine life, it is now time to get the teenager out of the house and move it along the development stage and take it down the road to pre-feas. And that's what we've been busy working on for this past year. In addition to that, we've got an outstanding institutional shareholder base. Over 50% of the shares are owned by big institutions, and I'll touch on that briefly in a moment. When you look at the nickel sulfide world, keep in mind that it's nickel sulfide deposits that are what are keen and support the demand for the electric battery market. Nickel laterite deposits, while they've been using some, they're very costly, they haven't been proven to work very well, and they typically are not of the quality to use for the battery markets. But we sit very well in what is a handful of nickel sulfide deposits, and we are very similar to the Kevitsa project in Finland, but we're well positioned within a small group, and we are starting to see the nickel demand grow. Copper and nickel have been increasing. I think that's a reflection of not only economic turn, but also the significant attention being paid to the electric vehicle market, the battery market in particular. There's a quote here by Elon Musk. Tesla said that they should actually call them nickel batteries because they're predominantly nickel, not lithium. So you have to have nickel to produce the battery-grade quality batteries for the electric vehicle market. But you also want the nickel sulfide deposits, and that is what we have. Platinum and palladium. Palladium's been really moving significantly. We've seen the BRIC countries really talking about going emissions-free, and so we're seeing, really good movement in both those commodities, and we feel we're very well positioned to take advantage of what we call the urbanization commodities for these markets. This is a look at the Green project. We actually can work year-round. We do get snow, but we don't get it as significant as some of the other areas because our project sits between 2 mountain ranges. If you look at the deposit, it overlays like this. That's the 2 billion pounds of nickel and the 1 billion pounds of copper and 6 million ounces of PGMs and gold. We will be mining this by open pit. Hudbay mined a little bit underground in the 70s, about 140,000 tons of material. And this deposit itself is 2.8 kilometers in strike length. but it sits within an 18-kilometer strike length of our entire land position. So we do believe we're in a very good setting to look at possible district potential, and I'll touch on that in a moment as well. So here you go. We have this yellow line is the Alaska Highway. You literally turn left, and our base camp sits right near the Alaska Highway, and you take a 14-kilometer all-weather access road to where the deposit itself sits. So excellent infrastructure. And not only that, but once we truck our concentrate out, we are able to take the Alaska Highway down to the deep-sea shipping ports of Haines and Skagway, where we can then ship route of market to China, Finland, Europe, or we can rail it to Sudbury. So we are very excited about that potential for our infrastructure and our route to market access. We all know about the Yukon and all the projects there, so I won't spend much time other than to say that we do have very good community support. We have very good Kluane First Nation